Hey folks, welcome back to the second stress-free stream of this weekend. As you can probably tell, I'm trying to stress test as many things about this new system as I possibly can, and why not Art of Rally? It's a wonderful new game that just came out, hitting at all the nostalgia strings. Those of you who saw the Beam video last night probably know how fond... Oh wow, it's a BMW Pro car. Yeah, those of you who saw that video probably know how fond I am of Rally as a whole, and this is such a beautiful little homage to everything. So I'm gonna pull up the chat quickly and see what you guys are doing. Here's to hoping the chat actually updates tonight. I'd really like that. Or today. Really depends where you are. How you guys doing? Alright, so the quest for Group A. Just last night, after doing the video, I managed to unlock the Group A category, which unlocked, as you can see up there, I was going to call it the 22B, but it's actually the 98 or 99 Subaru World Rally car. Basically the thing that I have the road going version of that I have had for 10 years that my mother had before me. I'm absolutely in love with this car. If it wasn't for this car, I wouldn't be into motorsport. So, 0 progress. And we're going to take it from scratch. I'm going to do skill today. I think I might do another stream where I try and just do the entire game in master. Maybe multi-part stream. Just give me more time. The Fujin. Always freaking out because of these apps. I'm like, is the stream still going? Is it good? Just let me know how it is on your end, guys. If everything's coming through okay, if something's wrong, the audio levels are off, let me know. Streaming is a constant work in progress, which is what I both love and hate about it. Also, if you want the music and the game audio louder in conjunction to me, let me know. I completely understand. This game has an amazing soundtrack, 51 tracks of chillwave, retrowave bliss. Awesome, thanks SPG. Appreciate it. Alright, get ready for some backfires. Some anti-lag, and of course they've given me rain. Rain is like my arch nemesis. So I've not really driven this car very much at all, as you'll probably tell through the first couple of stages. Come on, baby. The one thing I found about its driving model is it actually doesn't want you to go sideways. It's quicker if you just grip drive, which is kind of weird for a rally game, but hey, whatever. It is what it is. And sometimes staying in a higher gear as well is better. Which is, again, weird. Got a full chill track on this one. I can barely hear the music. But who cares, really? When you have that beautiful turbo whistle and that anti-lag soundtrack. You can really tell that this game was done up by a bunch of true rally fans. I don't actually know where the developers are from. They were nice enough to shoot through a copy of the game a while back, and I kind of felt guilty because I just pillaged the soundtrack and started using it on my videos, so I thought I should probably feature Art of Rally, because it is a very fun game and they seem to really care about what they're doing, but the humor strikes me as Finnish. I've been to Finland a few times now. I've got a lot of friends who live there. And, yeah, this is like right up their alley. It's just goofy. You're really trying to get that Boxer flat 4 sound. The synth doesn't really carry it as well as it does in real life. When I get into the GC8, my god, when that engine note fires up, that car sounds so good. But I like the way the rotaries sound in this game. But I'll always have a thing about going to the shops and cruising and that thing and just being able to hear it from like 3 blocks away. I'm sure it makes me the most popular man around town. That's what all Subaru drivers think to themselves. The sad thing about Rally is you just cannot read chat at the same time as doing this. It's like no screen can get close enough to what I'm doing to allow me to do that. So I'm going to catch up on everything in between stages. So if you guys have any questions, just hold your horses and we'll get to it. I really enjoy doing that Beam and G video. yesterday, by the way. It was after that stream finished. I'm like, yeah, I've still got some life left in me. Let's do this. Let's set aside like 6 hours and get this done. I've been wanting to do that video for so long. I was kind of hoping, you know, as part of my strategy, I would trigger a few more Dirt Rally fanboys, of which I'm one, you know, like it got me into sim racing. But everyone was really good-natured about it, which is kind of weird. Kind of disappointing, because if people don't get angry, my videos don't trend. So if you have any, like, Dirt Rally enthusiast friends, let them know. Man, in the top 10%, I'm like 62nd on the... Look at that! You're watching genius at play here, guys. Ollie, good to see you, man. You should definitely buy this game. It's, yeah, it's amazing. Devs are from Vancouver? That's insane. It strikes me as so Finnish. Are there any Finnish people working on the team? Amadis, how you doing, man? Always good to see you. I feel like less people are interested in Art of Rally than our other stuff. This is like one of the least concurrent viewers on a stream I've ever had. But that's okay. We're gonna build it. We're gonna show people how wrong they are, how much they should love this game. What's the WRC type car in BeamNG? Do you mean is that the Hirochi thing? Like the WRX ripoff, but with rally spec? I don't know anything. I know people have put JDMs in that. I know they've put the Nordschleife, ripped it from AC. I would never advocate ripping anything, but if you have it, send it to me. Would never advocate playing rip tracks, ever. I've definitely not got a video series about it, for R-Factor. I definitely don't think that if you own all the sims, you should cross-pollinate the content between them and have insane amounts of fun. That'd just be wrong. Oh man, that anti... No! Why? I wanted another top 10% in the world. It was like the first time I ever did that stage. I just wish we could stop with the rain a bit, you know? Just calm down. It's summer here in Australia. Act like it. One thing that's amazing about Dirt Rally 2 is this car. They finally put it in. I've been waiting for half a decade, basically, or ever since the original Colin McRae Rally games, to see it again. And they just nailed the note. They nailed the engine note. They nailed the turbo whistle. It's so good. I just wish they would nail the feeling of driving a car next time. That would be really good too. But now that they're owned by EA, I really bet they will. That'll be priority number one. More realistic driving model for EA. Oh boy. What times we live to see, gentlemen. And ladies. I hope ladies. I'm always caught by surprise. There's more ladies doing sim racing than I expect. I always expect it's like one of those really sausage festy things, but it's always good to see more girls involved in it. I know in a couple of prior streams I've had Amusance in here, which is awesome. Seems like a very nice girl. Wonder if she likes rally. Oh yeah, that's 20 years of rally skill there, guys. Beautiful. So good. I feel like this will be one of those more intimate streams of just a handful of us doing this. I'm no longer renowned for my streaming prowess. I feel like when it comes to streams, I guess people are more interested in seeing the stuff like what Jardier does. The hardcore competitions, the events, because that's usually when I've done the best. It was like the Spa 3-hour, the Nürburgring 24-hour, and I don't blame you for that. That was so exciting. I mean, I wish I could do that event. Well, I was going to say I wish I could do it every weekend, but if I did it every weekend, I'd just be fried and useless. That was definitely... What a way to start your online competitive racing career. It's 24 hours of Nürburgring. And your favorite sim, no less. Hey. How'd we do? There's one mistake. Top 20. It's alright, I'll take it. Yeah, Ollie, I will get onto the Discord pin shortly. I did see them this morning. I have a regimen, right? Because I get inundated with so many for all the different roles and businesses that if I read them all first thing in the morning and answer them all, I find that I lose 2 hours and I'm in such a bad mood because I haven't had my coffee, I haven't had breakfast, and I'm just a complete mess. So I kind of let the day unfold. I do the pleasurable things like take a walk outside in the valley and all that fun stuff. And then I get to the messages. But yes, I will give you the things that you are requesting. Yeah, Frederick, I don't know what car you're talking about, actually. Sherry Vivace, gotta try it. Okay, cool. I will test it out. Piles Peak or Pikes Peak? Did someone scan in the actual mountain? Well, Ollie, you've got to convince our team lord, Mr. Rene Butler from the R Factor 2 camp to come back to the world of the living. He's currently down with no internet and we can't do any endurance events until he's back, and I can't go to the Nordschleife until he's back because he has all the cars I'm going to drive. It's going to be so good. I'm talking about real life too. Man, I'm sick of this. Sick of this lockdown stuff. I'm ready to start traveling the globe again. You thought this would be Beam and G. How? the name of the game is everywhere. I mean, it will be in the future, don't get me wrong, but Art of Rally is really cool too. And the cool thing about Art of Rally, it's so undemanding to the system that I've yet to experience any technical errors, right? But there's one more thing to stress test, and that's one of you guys sending through a donation so your name can go up in the top left. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. Repairs. It's a thing. Laser scan Pikes Peak. That's amazing. You guys have got to let me know where to get these tracks for Beam and G. I'm just a vanilla pleb in that. I don't really know how to set it up. I don't really know how to do anything. I just load up a time trial in a car that looks like a 70s boat and I just throw it around and laugh my ass off. As you saw in the video, basically. That's kind of what I just do in that. I love it. Right. Sorry about that. Just double checking the chat. I have a habit of missing things first thing in the morning or first thing at noon. Oh god. Don't do it. Soccer? Wow. Oh, we're in Sardinia, of course. That makes sense. I love this rally. It's like if Italy met Africa in terms of the landscape, you know? It's got some Australianism to it, like the shrubbery and stuff looks very similar to what we have here, but it's still Europe, kinda. Sort of. The irony is these kind of landscapes tend to provide some of my favorite rallying. Like, I love Australia for rallying, so I really should be doing it in real life. Should probably find a rally school out north and see how we go. So to those who've just joined us, I've just unlocked Group A here in Dirt Rally, and this is my favorite car in the world ever that I'm driving. I know that changes on a weekly basis. You guys think it's the 48 and then the C8R. And sure, yeah, I mean, I'd say the C8R is definitely my current favorite road car, GT car thing, but this thing, the late 90s Subaru, oh my god, don't do that. You saw nothing, it's fine. Just clutch kick your way out of that. But this is kind of my favorite car of all time for nostalgia reasons. And it's funny, I wish I had the businesses running back before the 22Bs exploded in cost. I think they cost well over $100,000 now here in Australia. If I just picked one up and they were only like 80k, that would have been a really good investment. And plus I would have been able to look at one of these things every day, just in the garage. It's alright. The goal now is to buy Mr. Rene and Butler Powell Motorsports a GT3 car and then do the 24 hours. We'll see how we go from that. It's kind of cool. I mean, Obviously, the handling model is really simplified in this title, but they've gotten a lot of it vaguely correct. Just the undulations, the way cars handle when they become weightless. They just feel like they travel a bit too much. It's like the thing that it takes so long for titles to get right is that sense of friction between the tires and the road surface. As you can tell by playing any of the dirt games, they completely just destroy that. But it's funny that it took an insane time model like R-Factors to start finally approximating that sense of friction and granularity. There's so much to that, I guess. The little flat spots, the little hot spots, the little deformations and all that stuff running at an insane amount of cycles. It's raining in Tasmania. Jeez. I am actually in Melbourne. Summer being over is really, really good for me because Feb is my birthday month, and the last thing I want is for it to be like 45 degrees and sweating my butt off in front of a really lonely birthday cake. All right. I feel like I really have a... Ooh. Amadis, you are the man. Back at it again. Wonder where that's gonna end up on the top chat. Yes, we'll see. Ah, there it is, top tipper. Woo! Congrats. You've reprised your rightful role, at least until Sergeant Wombat comes back to the streams. I feel like there's some really weird like chat lag issues on YouTube. Is that normal, guys? Do you see some of the other streamers talking about that? Hey, I'm ahead by like 4 minutes. What is this? Do they not know I'm a thoroughbred rally fan? Yeah, Crash, I'd really recommend it. R-Factor is good stuff. I mean, half the channel was built around it. The half that wasn't built around Automobilista 2 and Walson Lords of Mayhem. By the looks of it, it's certainly not going to be based around Art of Rally anytime soon, but that's fine. I like having a nice chill stream every so often too. You did. You had an epic battle with Wombat, and I think you basically covered my dinners for that week, and I really appreciate you guys for it. It was most worthwhile stream ever. I feel like it was one of the practice ones for the N24, see? It's those kind of events rile people up, because they're awesome. Maybe next time I can live stream it from in the cockpit inside Renee's car, like in real life. Just see how we go. Sure, there's going to be no technical issues there whatsoever. Watch me get lapped like mad in a TCR car. Love the music in this game. It's like half the... I don't know, it's like they released a really cool soundtrack with a game attached to it. And now we're finally on tarmac. So this understeery beast can, you know, do its thing. By the way, in this game it's got like 800 and something horsepower, so I think they're going with the alternate reality thing. It's like, had Group B never been cancelled, had people never wisened up to how insane it was, what might the Impressor have been? I mean, somehow I doubt it would have been a flat 4 boxer if it was putting out that much, but maybe if it was both turbo and supercharged. Or had massive lag. It's a really nice stage, at least until I fly off the road. I feel like it'll go from really good to really bad really quickly. But now it's just really fun. Oh man, that's a really good photo opportunity right there. I should just put it into photo mode. Get some more screenings for next time. Man, This car is just so much easier to drive than all the other ones up until this point. It actually has grip. It actually feels like a four-wheel drive car. Ooh, the sky bridge. Let's calm down a bit. This game's not very fond of you hitting barriers. Ooh. Someone just rang the bell, guys. Give me a sec. I'll be back with you in 2 minutes. My housemate got a package. How rude. How absolutely rude. But I'm a nice guy. I'll stop the stream for that. Alright, back to it. Nasu Highland. I'll have to remember this. Get that anti-lag soundtrack going again. Ooh, nice. Hey, Fun Selector guys, how you doing? I had no idea people would catch wind of it so quickly as I kind of threw this together because I had a spare... What's today? Monday afternoon? It's something. So when you're self-employed, suddenly the flow of the week doesn't really matter all that much. It's like, I feel like doing a stream today, let's do it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy seeing Art of Rally as much as I've enjoyed playing it, and certainly listening to this amazing soundtrack and repurposing it for my streams. So thank you guys for that. I love the fact that it's all royalty free and I can just get into it. I've never actually tried Richard Burns Rally, I've got to say, much to my dismay. It was always, when I caught wind of it, it was already kind of aged, and everyone was like, yeah, it was kind of the king of physics, but it, you know, it looked pretty pox by that point. And I know that people have worked on it since. But no, I've never tried it. Once BeamNG came along, it was kind of what's the point? Like the way the chassis flex and the damage makes you approach the driving experience is so much closer to actual rally than anything else that, you know, I feel like the natural ultimate rally simulator, it has to be built in that engine. I can't imagine it being built in anything else. You can feel it contorting under load. It's unbelievable. The sense of weight transfer and everything, for me, it's the ultimate drift simulator and it's the ultimate rally simulator as well. Closely followed by this game with its, you know, obviously revolutionary time model and graphics engine. No, it's a boatload of packed in nostalgia. I do love that about this, and being able to drive my favorite car of all time in any capacity is always great. Oh yes, the crowd. You guys got to do more Carmageddon stuff with the crowd though. I want to see people bouncing off like they did in the Group B days. Maybe, you know, make them get up after though. Maybe the game will get like a MA rating after that though. Might not be good. Ooh, hilly. Man, that's scary. Nice. Nice. There's a real sense of satisfaction when you like nail the undulations of these courses. I mean, admittedly, this car is easy mode. I do have to shout out the composer though. I've really been enjoying the soundtrack. So have my friends. We're all a bunch of chillwave nerds. Whenever I'm not a metal nerd, so metal is sort of my, I guess, lifelong career in audio. So it's nice to take a break from it occasionally. Though actually, Northlane and I did a EDM EP recently. It's got... I don't think I can actually reveal too much about this now that I think about it. But yeah, that was actually really cool. It's like a combination of that 90s approach to electro as well as where Northlane are going as a band. It was very, very cool. I love where they went with the Alien record that we did last year. Or sorry, the year before. I think it was 2019 now. It's one of my favorites I ever worked on. Yeah, man, I wonder if this this channel can become a cross-section between music and sim racing. That'd be kind of cool. Hey Ian, how you doing? Just gonna catch up on the chat now that I can actually read things. Thanks Roy, good to see you from Canada. Slow mode is indeed on. It's to stop people spamming the chat. It used to be an issue. All it takes is one person. Little Todd, you should all definitely donate to let me have more chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets are my favorite. They keep me fueled to keep driving more Art of Rally and making more unnecessary Beam and G videos. See you, Ollie. Have a good one, man. I know it's pretty late up there. I actually meant to start the stream a bit earlier, but I got up a bit later than expected today. I got caught up playing Gunfire Reborn. Really addictive game. Nico, how you doing? How's the team going tonight? Tonight, it's really late over there, isn't it? Welcome, Gravity Pancake. A lot of Canadians. What time is it over there? It's not too late, is it? I was expecting to get some of the North American bracket. Probably not the Aussies, because they'd all be at work right now. I think it's midday. I think it's midday. It's as like the most content creator statement ever. Alright, back to it. Back to dominating Mount Haruna. Haruna. Say it correctly, man. It's just like ACC. You gotta say it. Assetto Corsa Competizione. It's not, you know, it's not the way that we say it here in Australia. It's very different. You gotta get the passion in there. Yeah, Nicholas, man, just DM me about it. Let me know what's going on. I've decided to pull away from that kind of racing a little bit over the next couple of weeks because the business has really fried me a little bit. But yeah, man, just let me know. I'll look into what's going on there. I think the community here, at least based on the concurrent viewership right now, are definitely more into that sort of stuff than they are into the chill streams. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of people more excited to see slightly more high stakes racing. Which is a shame. Wouldn't it be nice to build a channel around like yourself just playing through old like Gran Turismo campaigns? I'm pretty sure Jim has already done that, hasn't he? Though he's at that size now where you can just kind of do anything and people will watch. Jealous. I'm jealous. Oh man, that was entirely intentional. That was like the best Scandinavian flick of my life ever. I like min-max the track limits. That was sick. See? Rally and chat. That's where it's at. I think the cool thing about doing this is while I'm talking, I can't overthink the driving. The driving has to come naturally. Which I guess with Rally is pretty easy at this point. Oh yeah. I stole one glance at the chat and it was enough to just understeer me mid-corner. Not worth it. Use the handbrake. Use the handbrake, champ. Use the handbrake. No. So much understeer. Come on. Oh man. Not the way the pros would have done it, but I got there in the end. So much anti-lag. So good. So good. I used to do this in dirt rally all the time. Before I learned what tarmac physics actually were, and then I could never drive it again. Damn you, R-Factor. It's all your fault. You broke me. Until ACC became good, like I couldn't drive anything else. It was just beam and R-Factor. I like how this game always feels like it's in some perpetual sunset state to look nice and pretty and stylized. Jack, welcome from Southern England. Yes, we're building the concurrent viewership, guys. If we crack 50, I'm gonna do nothing, but I'll be happy, and I'll be happy with you. Canada has 4 time zones? That's insane. I had no idea. So the problem, Nick, is if you got an event coming tomorrow and you want a bigger broadcast and everything, it depends what, how you want that to happen. If you want me to be a part of it, that would be probably a really bad idea right now. I've not had a chance to sim race in weeks, so I'd be ineffectual as a driver, but maybe I can yell at people for you. Yeah, Dirt's tarmac is quite an experience. I've actually spun out my road car because I was playing it too much and I expected that you could just snap back, and it's not how it works. I think that was the tipping point for me. I'm like, this game can actually kill me in real life if I keep driving it. So I stopped. Sounds like a pretty fair thing to do. WRC9, I have seen Jimler and stuff playing it and it looked kind of sim-cadey to me. I'm not saying you can't enjoy it or anything, but it didn't look like the leap forward that I need as a driver to be engaged. So for me, it's still beam. This most certainly has better tarmac physics than Dirt. I don't even think that's a joke. That's alright, Nick. Just DM me about that event if you haven't already. I'll check Discord after this. I've got a few things I need to catch up on after the stream. But speaking of which, I want to make more forward progress here. Got people joining the stream. They're like, "Why is this guy just talking over a replay?" Sam, thoughts on iRacing? We actually went over that a bit yesterday when people asked, because I keep talking about the monetization model and stuff. So I've never driven it. I can't speak to the physics. I can't speak to what everybody says about the time model and all that stuff. I have no experience with it. I refuse to get into it on the ethical basis of its monetization strategy. So for me, it's either subscription or content that you pay for that you own in perpetuity, not both. You can't charge subscription, then for content, then lock people out of that content when that subscription runs out. To me, that's immoral. I just picked the wrong car. Oh, no, I didn't. I just got unlocked. That's awesome. I got Mackinnon's car. That's sick. I hate admitting that was the most, winningest rally car in the late 90s. It wasn't my favorite. It was those damn Mitsubishi guys. Heck yeah. 92 done. Up to 93. Should I try another car? Was I doing that in Master? No way I was doing that in Master. I should do it in Master though. It was kind of too easy, whatever the other mode was. So the Lancia is actually an amazing, amazing car. The Celica was ubiquitous with rally back when I was getting into it as a kid. It was like the thing on the front of all the boxes. The Max Attack, I kind of want to try. I want to see if it's good. The Subi boys will never forgive me, but it was so good. We got to do it. It's one of my favorite cars in Dirt Rally 2. Yeah, never try the American line on your road car. That's not what road cars are for. Unless you live in America. I think Beam already is a fantastic simulator. I know that Steve, one of the guys who runs SimRacing.gp, wholeheartedly agrees. We both had a very similar outlook on where we think sim racing is going to go. And I mean, Beam for me is the future. Like, if they get the correct kind of development on there, they get like a proper aero model, they start to really work on the hardcore sim things as well as the flex things. I mean, the flex things you can't really retroactively add so easily into other engines. Not to that level anyway. You can kind of can them in and say, hey, these are the properties that you may expect when a car is under this much load. But for Beam, those properties are emergent because the flex is inherent to every single connecting rod in the car, right? So you can't get to that level of detail unless you build it bottom up that way. Oh man, I get so excited talking about that. I love Beam and G. I think it's going to own the world in 10 years. I hope it does. Yeah, so it adds up. 12 a month, 144 per year. I mean, plus the things that you pay for, which is fairly substantial. Look, from a business point of view, I get it. I've seen businesses in audio go that route and they become immensely profitable, and people will still pay if you give them the server infrastructure and say, hey, yeah, you guys are paying for the server infrastructure and we swear, you know, we need to charge you this much all the time and to keep the servers going. It's just like, yeah, sure you do. But it works, you know, people believe it, they buy into it, they get into the sunken cost fallacy, they look back, they're like, oh, I've spent $600 in this game over the last 2 years. Better keep paying, right? And then that's how it goes. That's fine. I'm not saying you can't enjoy it, and I'm not saying that there isn't a good game underneath with great racing and everything, but it is fundamentally exploitative from a business owner's point of view. Ooh, this car feels nice. It's more nimble, I think. Shorter gears? Oh, yes. Oh, man, me like it. Okay, it's more... Okay, cool. It's you got to treat it differently when you're throwing the weight around. I think more prone to spinning. I love that I'm trying it in Finland as well. Mäkinen's home. Oh my god, that wasn't me. I didn't do it, I swear. What was that? Come on, game. Not cool. See, that was Beam and G. My rally be over. Got people like joining the stream, they're like, you lied to me, I thought he'd be driving the blue Subaru. Like, part of me is dying inside because I'm not, but this car was awesome as well. I love how these guys conveniently like block the apexes. Could you imagine what that felt like in real life? When you're just driving through a sea of people and your co-driver is the only thing you can rely on because you can't actually see the road. It's just a sea of people like passing in front of you like Moses or something. Sideways Moses. That's going to be my new rally moniker. Oh, the jumps. A bit too jumpy? No, just jumpy enough. I'm going to say the engine note of this thing's a little bit less impressive, but if, you know, it's funny. You break it down and it feels more accurate to the way it sounds in Dirt Rally 2. Like, they've kind of approximated the sounds really well as far as simplistic engine sounds go. So again, to those who've just joined us, I unlocked the Group A, the final category of Art of Rally last night, just through casually playing over the last month. And yeah, this is me trying to basically get through it and win. And I think I've just jacked this up to the hardest difficulty, so I've got to make sure I make as few mistakes as possible. I don't expect to easily win every stage like I did with the Subaru. Oh, I tried. Oh, I hit the brake too late. Less mistakes like that. Could have been more catastrophic. Oh yeah. Backfire much? Jeez. That was not my best work. It's fine. Okay, a bit to catch up on there. Beam and G and AC keep updating themselves to a point where they can surpass current games. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. Beam is, from what I hear, just a completely different game to what it was back in 2013. AC, you don't even have to speak about. I mean, it isn't the devs that have done it, though. It's the community. They've done some amazing work on it. And it's funny to go back to vanilla AC and be like, hey, this game won't let me race after dark. or like too early in the morning, and it doesn't have day-night cycle, didn't even have weather. I mean, it was kind of where Race Room is at in a lot of ways, but it was the community that brought it to where it is now. So who knows, can't take the entire credit for that, you know? But what I'm curious to see is, because they'd be at a weird impasse right now, because they're built into the Unreal Engine ecosystem, and Unreal Engine, as easy as it is to develop for, obviously has a lot of drawbacks for sim racing, which we're finding out about the more they develop for it. Are they going to go back to the original engine? Are they going to like bring in the support of the guys like Ilya to give them all these amazing features that we now take for granted in the original Assetto Corsa? You know? I mean, what do you do? Where do you go from there? It'd be a really interesting managerial decision. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in those talks. Automation's not really my thing, but I know a lot of the guys in our Discord community really love it. So I do occasionally drive on the Nordschleife servers, but I haven't recently. So if you saw somebody using my name on those servers in the last couple of days or weeks, that wouldn't have been me. I drive under the moniker Erms, so it's never my full name. So someone's trying to, I don't know, if they're driving well, yeah, just continue believing that they're me. It's fine. Alright, we're gonna get back to this stuff. Yeah, reality has consequences, and Beam does make those very apparent. That's one thing I love about it. You drive a rally car like you would actually drive a rally car. You can't do the whole Beam and G. You can't do the whole dirt rally, just pin the throttle and just fly over stuff. There's those videos online of that female rally driver driving it, and you look at it and you're like, how are you bringing yourself to do that? That's so unrealistic. Like the way you're just flying over like the edges of the stage, just like skimming all the rocks that would just bend rims out of shape, you know? I don't like it, man. I think Codemasters have really got to get it together, but they probably don't want to, because you got to understand the dirt rally for most people, for the average like racing fan, is difficult. It's already too difficult for them, right? I remember seeing that when Dirt Rally 2 or Dirt 4 was coming out. They're all complaining they couldn't finish the stage, and to me it's like, what do you mean? It's like super easy. Have you tried this in Beam? But that's the point that you get at. When simulation gets too realistic, it becomes more like the real life pursuit, and you start needing, you essentially start needing a professional level skill set just to play the game. Which is probably why they tried to do the best of both worlds with Dirt 4, which backfired spectacularly, and they ended up with a horrible game for everyone. Come on, Mackin, help me out here, bro. Starting to get like weird little stutters because I keep minimizing the screen. My computer really doesn't like me doing that. That's alright, I'll live. As long as I have these sick beats to drive to. Oh yes. This music is so good. You probably remember some of these songs from my channel. I think I used this one as an intro recently. Well, we worked our way up to 50 concurrent viewers on Art of Rally. I'm actually pretty happy about that. I figured the hardcore sim racing community wouldn't set time aside out of their day to, to watch this, but that's okay. I'm wondering what the shape of the channel is going to be later on this year, like as we do more and more Beam and G content. Beam and G has a very weird ebb and flow, so both of the Beam videos that I've done over the last 6 months, they started horrifically. Like you'd think, alright, nobody in the world cares about Beam and G. And then it catches this like pocket of something. I don't know whether somebody talks about it on a forum. I don't know whether the algorithm catches wind of it and goes, hey, Beam and G, let's feed this out to people. And then they become the most popular videos on my channel all of a sudden, even though the community is not really all that about it. The community cares about AC ACC, R Factor, Auto Mobilista, you know. But Art of Rally guys did something really wise. Like, they got this into the hands of guys like Jimmy Broadbent, Chris Hay. They all did videos about it, you know. My friends heard about it because of that. They started telling me, they're like, hey, there's this retro wave like rally simulator. I'm like, what do you mean retro wave and rally? And then I saw this, I'm like, oh my god, that's sick. What a great combination of things. So I mean, the height of rally was in the 80s, so kind of just makes sense. I feel like I was more confident in the Subaru. I don't know if it was like a placebo because I love those cars so much. Yeah, the DD1's resting comfortably behind me. Yeah, Beam and G on circuits isn't really the best stuff right now. I mean, it feels better after the new time model update. But yeah, it's definitely not knocking on, you know, like ACC's door or anything like that. I mean, Beam and G, considering what it was, where it began, how it began, the fact that it even drives resembling a car is kind of nothing short of miraculous, to me anyway. Speaking of which, next stage time. I went better than the last rally. Just checking to see how things are going. It's weird. Sometimes nothing will change. I'll do a stream and the like chat will conk out. And other times like this, I just kind of chill out and everything goes fine. Why didn't I become a Minecraft streamer, guys? You know? Why wasn't I just one of those kids like, I stream Terraria or Minecraft and just not think about anything and not have a massive sim rig? And, you know, just enjoy life and just diagnose technical issues as they come up, rather than like being buried in a sim rig. Oh my god. So interestingly, even though I think this car has the potential to be quicker than the Subaru, I think I am quicker in the Subaru just based on how it handles. It's a little more stable, a little more understeered. Oh god, no. As you can see, that's a bit of an issue. Also, the lack of neutral protection is a bit of an issue in this title. Come on. Yeah, I'm definitely having a bit of a harder time connecting with this car than the blue Subi, so I think after I finish this, it's going to be blue Subi time. Yeah, I'm just having a really hard time keeping this thing pivoted correctly. It's way more oversteer, which means it's probably quicker when you get down to it. But you probably need more skill to drive it, which I clearly don't possess. Yes, the crowd just blocking the apex as always. That perpetual sunrise. Some good bollard physics there too. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things unfold in 2021. I'm actually hoping to do a bit of a repivot of the way I do certain things. As much as I love titles like R Factor, oh my god, I thought that was the end. I thought that was the finish. All it takes is one incorrect glance, and then the car starts to pull to the left. But yeah, as much as I like titles like R Factor, the content was starting to get a bit long in the tooth. There's only so much you can say. I'll probably finish up our laser scanned track series. I've got another, I think, 2 videos left to go. I'm really keen for that. I've also done a tutorial for how to set it up and have a great first offline race for complete beginners, which a lot of people have asked me for over the year. A lot of people have a lot of trouble just knowing what to do in R Factor. So we're hoping to bridge the gap for them a little bit now that the new UI is standardized and there's no more wondering what if and is this going to change, is that going to change. So that'd be awesome. That's coming out through another outlet, but I will tell you guys when it does come out. Hey, the actual end. This is not going to be the best work of my life. Well, that's very interesting, Top Notch. In theory, I would love to do that as well, but the way that YouTube works is very bizarre. If it knows that somebody is into like really, really into hardcore sim racing and they associate me with that, they're not going to show them the streams that I do that aren't that. It's very difficult to change things up as a content creator simply because the platform doesn't let you. You're working against a lot of things all the time, unfortunately. But in theory, that'd be great, because this channel actually exploded by covering Waltz and Lords of Mayhem, and I'd still like to play an ARPG every now and then on stream, but I feel like I would lose more subs than I would gain doing that. And then you'd start to kind of hit two completely different brackets. YouTube doesn't like that kind of thing. It's a strange platform, really strange platform. Thanks, Roy. Appreciate that. I can only hope for the best and just do as much content as I can, and I mean, you guys do the rest, basically. If you're liking it, please tell your friends. Send me $2 so I can buy a chicken nugget, like Todd says. So I can get the Heritage expansion pack for this. I actually don't even know if that's paid content or not. Oh, rain. This is going to really suck. So rain in this game is like super slow mode. Also, I hope you guys appreciate the new rig is a beast, so I'm doing these streams at 1440p. I hope the quality is good. I don't think I can do higher quality than this. At least YouTube informs me I cannot. Oh, no. Oh my god. That's not what cars do. Oh my god. Yeah, so I do love this title, but there's that like missing friction element between the tire and the surface. Which is fine, you know, it's the least of your worries when you're playing a stylized, cartoony rally game. Oh no, Jesus. I've got to just pump that throttle constantly, just to keep it on the road. Alright, take it easy, Emma, take it easy. I miss the stability of my Subaru. I'm sorry, Mr. Mackinnon. You're awesome, but I'm not a Mitsubishi guy. Yeah, it's very, very pivoty, this one. Aw, oh, come on, man. This is going to be the most disastrous rally we've had. Alright, you mark my words. I go back to the Subaru, the stream's going to double. You're going to have like 80 people in here. Come on. Come on. Alright, fine. The community have spoken. They want more 24-hour events. I'm going to have to hit up Renee and the team. Get something sorted. Maybe 12-hour of Sebring, you know? That's one thing I don't get. R-Factor should be running like parallel events to real life. They should be doing the 24 hours of Daytona right now. And clearly, like, you know, they should have Daytona. They should have it as a laser scan track. They should be the endurance simulator of choice. They need to take that crown from iRacing. That's the first port of call. 24-hour Le Mans every time the real thing is going. Not at the same time, obviously, because everyone's going to be watching the real thing, but around the same time. Maybe the weekend before, get people warmed up for it, you know? 12 hours of Sebring, 24 hours of Spa, 24 hours of Nürburgring, of course. Should have me as an announcer there with Renee. Actually, no. Screw that. I want to drive. I'll announce and drive. I'll do the broadcast from the cockpit. Ooh, that's nice. I like it. The Art of Rally is visually stunning in a way. They've stylized it really, really well. Yanmar, how iRacing does for Daytona 24, exactly. Weekend before. I mean, I didn't even know that they did that, but it just makes sense, right? If you want to be the endurance racing simulator of... Oh man, that was one of the worst performances I've ever had. I think the Mitsubishi really isn't for me. I went from just like first across the board to just struggling my way through the stages. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it. I know a lot of you guys in the UK and Europe have been keeping the stream afloat. I know it's super late over there. Appreciate you guys joining us. Hopefully you come in for the next one, and hopefully I can do it at a time that's more convenient to you as well. I know we're in a weird time zone at the moment. The Aussies are all at work, you guys are all going to sleep, so it's just the North Americans hanging around. And I think traditionally North America is not as big on Rally as Europe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just get that impression. Don't worry, I'll keep the stream going until it's pummeled into the ground. It's just going to be me and little Todd ordering me chicken nuggets. We're so close to 30,000 subscribers though, guys. I'm so happy about that. I like that I can at least have a casual chat while I'm doing this with myself. My favorite kind of chat, a monologue. But yeah, 30k, we're so close. If we get there before February spools up to my birthday, the 9th or so, I believe that will have been a year. That will have been a year from 100 subscribers to 30k in 1 year. So if you guys aren't subbed, please help me out. I just want to get to 30k in 1 year, say I did it. But more accurately that we did it, because I don't think I am 30,000 people. I remember being absolutely blown away because I was looking for a reference point, right? And obviously, you know, Mr. Broadbent is kind of the gold standard for sim racing these days. I wanted to see how quickly his channel grew back in the day. It was like 2012 when he first started. It was like a lifetime ago. I think he celebrated his 10,000 sub milestone after 3 years, and that just like blew my mind. I know that I cheated technically. I was using the sim racing boom of the lockdowns in 2010 to really hypercharge things. Yeah, see, my leaderboard scores are just going way down with the Mitsubishi. I think it's just slower for me. I like it. They made the Subaru OP, as it should be. Hey, William, how you doing, man? Yeah, get us some nuggets. I'm hungry, dude. I haven't had breakfast yet. Because this is Rally, I can't chat with you while I race. It's actually like harder than sim racing in that way. It's so weird, isn't it? Tarmac sim racing, anyway. But I do like to take a break every stage while we listen to this gorgeous anti-lag soundtrack. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, I'm just kind of, I don't know, lacking a bit of stability in this one. What do you reckon, guys? More Project Cars 3 streams? Right? I totally haven't uninstalled that. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe what... We were so correct about that one, it's not even funny anymore. Like, I got so much hate during the time that was all spooling up, and I'm like, I know exactly what's happening here. Not only because of sim racing for, you know, however many years, but because of running businesses. I know what they're doing, and it's not going to be good for us. But a lot of people, I think, didn't want to believe. And then here we are. Its prequel is vastly more popular on Steam than number 3. Who'd have seen that coming? It's very hard to compete with the Forzas and the Gran Turismo sports of this world. They're dialed in so well as good arcade experiences for people. It's just not something that Slightly Mad could have done. It takes decades to build a game to that point. You can't just sell out, you know what I mean? Like, selling out takes a plan. I used to think as a kid selling out was easy. Like, all the bands that came out, like Linkin Park, I'm like, those guys suck. They don't grind for it. And then you actually become a record producer and you're like, wait, there's a lot of work that goes into this. It's actually harder to like be Billboard top 10 than it is playing out of your mum's garage. Who'd have thought? Never dawned on me when I was 14. I'm finally starting to get it. Through the power of Sardinia. Look at that depth of field in the distance, so good. I'd be streaming this in 4K if I could, guys, and well, I mean, technically I can. What do you reckon? Should I stream the next one in 4K? I mean, I can. You can just do it. The system is so cool. I still only have a 3080, not a 3090, which is costing a few frames, but it is half the cost because of that. I can't believe how expensive everything is. Like, you can buy a second-hand car for the amount that you get a system like this for. It's insane. Man, machine gun. You having breakfast? Ah, William, you're on that real content creator clock, aren't you? I'm glad we're all in agreement for Project Cars 3. Yeah, so I feel like the bar for Simcade changes, and don't hate me when we get into this conversation, right? Welcome, Michael. So, alright, Simcade moves up as things get better and better and better. So, whereas Simcade may have once been like Gran Turismo 5 and 6, I feel like now, and don't hate me, Simcade is Assetto Corsa, the original. Like that's where the bar for that is going, because the tire model is still very primitive, the cars just kind of lack connection to the road, and I know some of the new ones are using advanced physics added in by the third-party modders, and that's great, but if we talk about vanilla AC physics, that is sort of my current bar for Simcade right now. ACC being like full sim, R-Factor 2 being full sim with some flaws that cause problems at the high level of driving. I need to navigate so many landmines with the way that I word that. But yeah, so like ACC is like the bar, AC is more in the Simcade territory, and then games like Forza and GT Sport are more for me arcade. But not full arcade like... See, I was going to call this full arcade, but this is actually more realistic than some racing games I've driven, right? So, I mean, it's not Trackmania, you know? I don't know, it's very arbitrary. Where do you draw that bar? Where do you draw that line for yourself? So Crash, you know, it does come down to that. I actually couldn't really get into AC and ACC until I got the direct drive rig, the really solid cockpit, the load cell pedals. Honestly, I didn't see what the hype was about until I got the low-level forces back in. Whereas with R-Factor, because its force feedback engine is so insane, I felt the detail even on like low-end Thrustmaster stuff. So it took a lot more of an investment to get more out of ACC. Like I always say in the videos, it's not a good moral of a story. Das Uber Speed Van. That's mad. Inline 5, 500 brake horsepower, turbocharged, 5-speed all-wheel drive. One evening after a rally victory. Let's do our announcer voice. Let me get some water for it. I'm going to read this out like I do in an actual video. You can see the stream like count increasing as everyone's like, oh yeah, I want to hear the voiceover. I want to hear the ASMR. I'm not used to talking this much, believe it or not. One evening, after a rally victory with the Hammer V1, the mechanics were celebrating and they had to do an engine swap before the day was done. Due to unknown celebratory reasons, they accidentally put the Hammer inline 5 engine, transmission and all-wheel drive system into their service van, and thus, the only Group B van to ever exist was born. Some of the enunciations there were a bit off, but you guys get the point. Woo! Crazy livery for the Lancia something. Oh my lord. Maybe that can be the next stream. Completing the campaign in that thing. Back to the Subi. Let's do it. Whoa! We got royalty in here, guys. We got Mr. Mike from Sim Racing 604, William from Sim Racing Paddock. How you guys doing? Oh man, Val, man, I could go some Chivapia right now. We actually got some fresh grass-fed mince in the fridge. We just bought it. It's like premier stuff, Cape Grim here in Melbourne. It's some of the best you can get. We actually made some the other day. It was so good. We need to get barbecue grates that are hotter though, so we can like really spice it up. With the way we like it here, we make them slightly larger and have the inside a little bit more raw. Do more announcement stuff for you guys before we get started. I know you're all about that, so we're going to do it for... We're going to do it for the Fujin here, the WRC late 90 car. Engine boxer for 820 horsepower. Somehow I think that's not historically accurate. Turbocharged. Transmission, 5-speed all-wheel drive. Odometer's got 35 miles from that rally I ran before. 7 events, 6 podiums. That's on me. How to win rallies. Turbo flat 4 boxer engine plus 4-wheel drive. This version brought an aluminium, wherever you're from, engine block and featured a cutting-edge active center differential. It brought home 3 Constructors' Championships consecutively between 1995 to 1997, proving to be consistent on all terrains. I'll take it. You've sold me, game. I've never played Burnout Paradise, Will. Oh yeah, back where I belong, baby. Flat 4, let's do it. Boxer boys. That's how I cruise to the shops like a twat. Oh man, this thing is like, it's so much easier to drive, it threw me off. So the brakes work better. Oh my god. So props to the devs, like this is a completely different driving experience to the car I was just in. It's gonna take an actual adjustment period, wow. Slow is fast, Ermin, slow. Car control. Pretend you drive one of these daily. See, I knew there'd be something good to do in the North American time zone. We've got that sim racing royalty in here. Before long, we're gonna have Chris Hay, Jimmer, you know, because in the UK it's totally not like 2 a.m. Somebody get Will from Boosted Media in here. He's like... So him and Mike have got to go toe-to-toe for nicest guy in sim racing. I don't even try to compete in that category. I just yell. And then people get angry at me because I say things about time models and they don't like it. Which is fine, you know? We all have our thing. Oh man, 2 wheels? So this thing has way more grip than the Lancer for some reason. It just like actually connects with the road. It feels like the drivetrain is just outputting power to the 4 wheels more accurately. Like I can just get it to shoot out of corners way faster, which is very weird given that it has 20 more horsepower as well. You'd expect it to be spinning the wheels. But, you know, it is what it is. Oh baby. That's what I'm about. Yeah, it's just better. It's just better than the Lancer. Weird. Oh man, that turbo dose sound. It's like the national anthem here in the northern suburbs of Melbourne. You guys should have seen the 90s here, it was amazing. It was like JDM heaven. R32s, R34s, Supras, GTO twin turbos. Man, and just the works. We had everything. We had like Subaru Mania, of course, like everyone has Subaru, they were the pleb car. I still have one because I'm the king of the plebs. Hey, we did it. Morbid enjoyment out of Burnout Paradise? Oof, man, I'll take your word for it. I'm not sure I'll ever try it. Will is amazing. That's one of my favorite things about delving into the content creator space, is meeting guys like him, the 2 Wills, the other of which is in our chat presently, and so many people like Renee, the Butler Pal Motorsports guys, so many really, really cool people in motorsports, not to say anything about the devs, you know? That sucks about the dealer, Will. That's really weird that they wouldn't let you test drive it. I was kind of wondering the same thing about the C8 when it comes here. It's like, what kind of proof do I have to give him? You know? How did my friend get the Performante? Like, did he walk in with a screenshot of his bank account or like his stock holdings and go, will you let me test drive it? Because he goes around and he test drives like 720S, had a Turbo S, had a 488, has a perf now. I don't know if you're in the chat, Misha, but if you want to fill the guys in on your exploits, that'd be really nice. Like, what do you do? Do you just walk into the dealership and say, hey, you know, let me drive this $500,000 car? How do you get away with that? And more importantly, how do I do that? Sardinia. Alright, I'm getting it now. I'm getting it. I'm starting to feel like the suit. Oh man, so much nicer to drive this thing. I'm getting the hate clicks from the Mitsubishi fanboys now. I can see it already. It's like a testament to Subaru's marketing though, because even though Mitsubishi were winning in the late 90s, we were all buying this car. And it was just like, painted a really cool blue, and I don't know, just like have McRae drive it, you know? Just have a really compelling driver in it. Doesn't even have to be necessarily the most consistent or the fastest driver. I'm not saying the McRae wasn't the fastest, but he lacked consistency, we can put it that way. Probably wouldn't have been the best endurance racing driver. And somehow that character combination gave them all the sales. Love this whole like buildings obfuscating the track thing. Don't mind a co-driver. The devs are still watching. Vuvuzela. That's what rally's all about. Oh, can we do it in one pass? No. Man, you guys should have seen earlier, I did like the Scandinavian flick of my life. It was in Japan, I think. Totally an accident. The driving became like completely subconscious because I was so busy ranting at myself and at you guys. Mostly myself. The understeer got me in the end. That Subi understeer. Apparently they dialed a lot of it out of the actual World Rally car, but yeah, it's still, it's kind of its character, you know? The engine is way up in the front there. It's just how it's going to be. Oh yeah, I almost thought that was the end. That could have been a disaster. Disaster. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Do it. Do it. Pretend you've done this before. Yes. Me and Subi, man. It's like mac and cheese. That's our thing. It's almost like I've driven one in real life for 10 years. You know what? Consistently holding the stream at around 50 people for a title like Art of Rally, I'm actually really happy with. You guys are the best. I know this isn't the hardcore sim racing fair. We're not going to be talking about any tire flat spotting or deformation, but you know, it's fun in a different way. And that's what 2021 is about. I want to actually, I think, enjoy the growth, enjoy the experience, and not constantly just frantically stress about the channel. See you, William. Thank you so much for dropping by, man. Really appreciate it. Your grandmother sounds like a really cool lass. So I never really played the Forza games, but it's interesting to hear about the supposed downgrade. It's really weird. Is it because they were trying to appeal to like a wider audience, or what's the deal? Yeah, Universe. I was hoping people would get into that. It's really, really relaxing, this game, in a manner of speaking. Not if you're trying to like set world leaderboard records, I'm sure. But just driving it chill like this in the rain here in Sardinia with some friends and having a chat, that's what it's all about. Oh boy. I always forget just like how little grip there is during the rain. It's the way that they've done this, loss of grip in the rain, is kind of like the way that, it's the inverse of the way that Dirt Rally does its tarmac physics. It's like gravel physics plus grip, you know? That's it. It's like, it's gravel, but it has more grip. Whereas this is just like what you're used to, but the car slides more. There's no like, you know, you don't ever hit little puddles and undulations and like feel the car catch. It just kind of slides nebulously. It's kind of like AC dialed to extremes, if you know what I mean. Man, I can't wait. I really hope they sort that out one day. Like ACC's current only Achilles heel that I can perceive as like a, oh come on man, is that essentially, that kind of thing happens. So you go into these kind of vague nebulous slides and you just can't feel your way out of them. You end up seesawing at the wheel. Something that Niels Heusinkveld has spoken about. So if you guys are curious about what I'm actually talking about, before you downvote my video, just type in Niels Heusinkveld, guy who makes my really, really cool pedals and Williams' really, really cool pedals, driving ACC for the first time, talking about how awesome it is, but saying that he doesn't like the vague kind of seesawing behavior at the limit, which has definitely been my hang up with it for a really, really long time. But because R Factor 2 doesn't suffer from that whatsoever, in fact it kind of suffers from the opposite, where you can overdrive the car with too much slip angle at the limit, my answer was always like, wow, what if ACC just developed a physical time model like, iRacing or BeamNG or R Factor 2? But based on what I've heard Aris say, I don't think it's just something they're ever really going to attempt. He seems to like the simplicity of the empirical model, being able to just kind of plug in new code and just get an outcome instantly without running a virtual dyno for 48 hours. Which, I mean, I can respect from a pragmatist point of view, certainly. I don't think that's going to be the approach that's going to propel us into the next generation of sim racing. But the fact that Kunos' devs are working around everything else, they're implementing Aero Yaw really well. They're doing all the other little things and leaving many of the other sims behind. It kind of makes up for the lack of the time model, in my opinion anyway. I'm sure there's a lot of people who disagree, but I always felt like that was the future. How am I first and still so pathetic? Mindset, how you doing? Filming, Rally is all about murdering people on the road, I feel like they need more Carmageddon elements in this where you can see the Gibbs, I don't like saying Gibbs, the 90s shooter stuff, just chunks of people flying everywhere. Yeah, sim races are definitely focused on sim racing. I mean, that's kind of what defines us. Many of the people here are like that. They're just giving themselves a chance to appreciate something else. I'm going to try and make it a little more casual over the coming year. I think focusing too much on the hardcore sims like R Factor just hyper-focuses the audience and it creates an echo chamber, which I don't really like. And you kind of saw that happening when I did the R Factor 2 Physics Broken video. So for about 8 months, I did my best to build the R Factor community here as much as possible, sell a lot of copies because I believe in it personally. I wanted to see people buy into it. I wanted to see it improve. But when you start ramping that up to a certain point, you get to a point where people are like, well, we can only say positive things about R Factor. And the moment you bring up, say, hey, why are the top esports aliens drifting everywhere in these comps? It looks kind of bizarre. And why is this setting the best times? You tend to get people in the core community trying to find reasons to not like you so much anymore, which is fine. That's kind of how people operate. But I want to make sure that this is a channel where we're able to speak our mind no matter where that leads us. And I want to make sure that I can load up, maybe GT one day and have people just not completely blast me for driving something that doesn't have a physical time model with full flat spotting and deformation because I just want to have fun with some friends, There's a time and a place for everything. But that being said, I really, really want to see R Factor 2 crawl back up to being the king of physics. I want to see it become the de facto sim for people who want to train themselves for real-life motorsport. But when you have guys like, James Baldwin, who I interviewed recently, and David Perel, and, a couple others, Nicky Thiem and stuff, who say that, hey, ACC is the one, like, I can't get past the flaws in R Factor anymore, and I, as a real-life GT3 driver, now prefer ACC, I mean, what can I say against that, There's really very little hitback I have to say, hey, but, the tires, they look really cool in slow motion. At a certain point, that's no longer enough, And I'm hoping the devs get that message. I've had guys from the team that I'm a part of abandon R Factor as well for similar reasons. And it's unfortunate because I want to see it succeed. I still love it very, very much. I'm going to stop talking about other sims. I'm going to start talking about the one I'm actually driving. Monster kill, yes. Yes, jib is pronounced jib, I know, but I don't like it. It's like jiff, like hard J. No, so it's a J. It's a J. It's meant to be pronounced with a J. I prefer saying GIF and GIB, but it's not meant to be said that way. The more competitive, the more toxic, yes. It just attracts that certain kind of person. But it is what it is, guys, you know? Crash, that's what it's all about, man. Friendly, open-minded, and able to be honest with constructive criticism. That's what it's all about. I think people get the wrong idea in their heads. They think, oh man, Erman did this really loose test of driving at Sebring with a C8R, and he said all this stuff, and he didn't account for real road perfectly and all these other factors. He didn't show us Motec and all the graphs, and it's like, how many of you guys would have watched that video had I spent like 40 minutes getting into a dissertation with physics and graphs? I mean, people don't want to see that. They want to see tangible, you know, back and forth. Hey guys, here's the default, here's what I'm able to do, here's me pumping up some really ridiculous car setup settings and actually getting a second and a half quicker. What's that all about, kind of thing? I mean, that should be more than enough to get the actual smart people who aren't me set on the correct path going, hey, there's stuff here we really need to sort out, you know? This moron kind of alluded to it. He didn't do it particularly accurately, but what he's alluding to is a problem, and our community have known this for years, especially the top level drivers who almost unanimously agree. Maybe I can do that for Art of Rally. Be like, guys, you need a physical time model in this, like, cartoonified rally sim. My experience racing through Sardinia, like, from a 3/4 view just doesn't feel quite as realistic as I want. But yeah, time and a place for everything, guys. That's why there's a bunch of sims. They all have things that we enjoy. But when I have real-life GT3 drivers telling me, hey, you know, ACC is the king for reason, I can't drive R-Factor because blah-da-da, and I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I mean, you guys know better than I do. That's why I'm here interviewing you, so I learn hopefully as much as you guys do, because this is a work-in-progress experience for me. I'm always open to change. I'm always open to change my opinion if shown that I am wrong. Ideally with some modicum of respect, you know, nobody likes to be berated. So if you ever disagree respectfully, which I've had guys do, which actually set me on the path of what I discovered with R-Factor originally, because I was on there going, man, it's the physics king, it's really cool, it has all this stuff going on, and guys like, well, have you ever tried driving it with a minimum rear wing and a detached rear sway bar? You ever tried doing that, I'm like, no, let me try that. And I tried it, and my lap times all improved by a second immediately, and I'm like, that doesn't feel right. Why do I have more grip with less rear wing? What's going on? And then, yeah, that set me off on this train. I saw how the guys drove in the esports comps, and then I'm like, this is not really what I'm in sim racing for. So here's to hoping the devs, you know, really get onto this. And I know they know about it. I know that they're trying. They tried with the Formula E comps recently. I don't think it was particularly successful the first run, but it's got to keep trying, you know. And I wish them all the best of luck. In many ways, R-Factor is still my favorite sim. There's something about it I just connect with. The driving experience is just the most fun for me. When you're on a really good sim rig and you sit and you just do hot laps, you just want to keep doing the laps. You want to keep doing one more. Whereas with ACC, I don't really feel that same compulsion. Like, while it may be better in a lot of other ways, the fundamental sensation of fun for me and the connection with the car in R-Factor is just something else. And maybe it's because it lets you overdrive. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because the tires communicate with you. They talk back. There's, you know, 2600 hertz worth of tire information happening constantly, which is several times the frame rate you'd be running the game at. And you can feel that. You can feel that through the column, and it's super compelling. Which is why I love Beam and R-Factor so much. They both communicate to you at that level. Which is why Beam and G is the rally sim of choice for me. Hey, more concurrent viewers. Do you guys like it when I go on rants about things that aren't Art of Rally, huh? Just, if you disagree, stay in the... Sorry, I said that wrong. If you agree, stay in the stream, please. Let's do it that way. Just have it running in the back while you make dinner or something, you know? Just let me know. Let me know. I'm so desperate for approval, guys. Hey, we're at the end. Man, I'm getting a headache from all this talking. I'm going to take about 3 minutes to get some water. The water is in the room, by the way, so I have to leave. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Man, I'm doing so much better in the Subaru. It's my spirit animal. Exactly. The 850 horsepower Subi needs more torque vectoring and chassis warping. I agree. And more tire flex. Always more tire flex. Universe, the car I'm currently driving, is my favorite by far. By far. So I've heard from a lot of people that they feel that ACC is kind of drab and uncompelling to drive. I don't know anything about the physics from an actual engineer's point of view or a physicist's point of view, but from what I've experienced, I know that the physical time model games always feel the most compelling to drive. That's just something I've correlated, and I'm just putting that out there, which is why I made that video asking like, hey, is this upcoming time model update in ACC maybe going to be physical? But we've already gone over the story, and it's very unlikely that Aris is going to want to do that based on what he's said in the past. He seems to really like being able to plug in new values, get an output immediately, test for that, go from there, rather than running the 48-hour virtual dyno that you have to do in rFactor. So it just takes time to iterate. You've got to bake all these things offline to see what kind of a change that's going to make, and then you have to play test that. So it just takes time to do the physical time model. But to me, that always seems to lead to the best outcomes as a driver anyway. Dargus, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. We're trying to hit 30k, so if any of you guys are enjoying the stream and you're not subscribed, if you want to subscribe, I'd hugely appreciate it. If I can get to 30k before February 9th, that would essentially be 30,000 subscribers in 1 year of the channel operating, which would be just amazing for me. It does have brake disc glow, yeah, it's amazing, right? Whew. Oh man. It's kind of... I feel like everything after a while takes it out of you, you know? I'm trying to work out how long the stream has been going for. Nothing is actually telling me. Project Cars 3 is definitely a missed chance. It could have been a really good controller game. Actually, why don't I go view replay? There we go, that's more pleasant, right? Project Cars 3 could have been so many things. Had they done it as a proper arcade game, could have been amazing. I like playing controller racing games. I like the old Gran Turismos. I still boot them up every now and then and play them. They got me into racing games, more or less. But Project Cars 3 kind of... I think Jimmy said it best. It's a game that didn't know what it wanted to be, but somehow managed to fail at all things all the same. I think that's a bit of paraphrasing, but that's essentially the savage way of how he put it, you know? And it's so true. It didn't know what it wanted to be, but it failed all the same. 90 minutes, that's what I love about streaming. It's like, the time just flies by, you know? I love that you guys got it up to about 60 people as well. Like, just watching me play a chill game, talk about sim racing. Really appreciate it. I don't know what Kart Factor is. Zach, this game is very fun. I really like it. I love the soundtrack. Even if I didn't buy it for the game, I would have bought it for the awesome, awesome soundtrack. 51 tracks of just pure chill wave bliss. Project Cars 3, yeah, I would agree, was a corporate cash grab. It was just completely misreading your audience. It was like reading it as a businessman. That's why I went so hard after Project Cars 3 when it was coming out. I could see that they were doing... It was such a mistake. It was such a mistake on so many levels. They were alienating their core base while not drawing in a new one. And the player counts speak to that, right? My God. Just the people managing that company sometimes, I really wonder, like, how do you fail upward that hard? Glad to hear it, Zach. I hope you enjoy it. If the devs are still in here, you're welcome, dudes. I'm selling you copies of your game. I'm not being paid to do this, by the way. I'm actually legitimately doing this and enjoying it. It's my favorite car of all time there on that screen. I'm actually playing this on a 55-inch OLED TV, and the experience is... I wish I could somehow convey it to you guys, because it's so... Like, my inner child would be blown away that this would be possible, you know, when he was in his 30s. That you could have this experience. It's so good. Okay, interesting to hear about Kart Factor. I had no idea about that.
Alright, Gran Turismo 2 stream. I'll keep it in mind. I think maybe I'll do 4 though. I think 4 was like the last one that's easy to run on a PC. Without errors and stuff. I think after 5 it became an issue. PlayStation 3 or whatever. John, me and Ola England. I was on Coffee with Ola, I think a year or 2 back. Yeah. That was an interview. I mixed his album Master of the Universe, and I happened to be passing through Sweden at the time, and he had me on the program. He's a really nice guy. And yeah, that was that. Alright, let's get into this. No, no, don't crash. Really? Oh, man, I hit the pause button thinking it was thinking it was next, and it was, whew. Okay, pro at work here, guys. Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it's legal for me to tell you, but you can run Gran Turismo on PC. I think it actually is legal if you own the game. If you own a disc of it, you can run it. You know, you can put the disc in and it will read it. Emulators are legal in that sense. You need to own the game. My TV is the LG CX or C10. Yeah, we cracked 60, guys. You are the best. Thank you so much. What time is it where you're all at? I'm kind of always curious when I run these streams, you know, like how convenient is it for people to do this stuff? Yeah, Gran Turismo 4 wasn't really a problem for me. I think I've got a pretty substantial account in that already. I got sick mid last year when I was looking for a new house. I got a really bad inner ear infection, and it's no, sorry, it wasn't an inner ear infection. Well, it kind of was. It was like an inner ear virus type thing, and I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk for a month. Like it knocked me out so much. I was just throwing up, and just sleeping for like 16 hours a day. I was just gone. And all I could do was play Gran Turismo 4. It's literally all I could do. So I built up a really hefty account because I couldn't sim race properly. It just messed me up. So I've got a fondness for that title now. It got me through a not so great time. Okay, back to the state of the industry talk. State of the industry monologues. Ah, man, I feel like we've covered everything. We've spoken about iRacing's monetization model, about the state of R-Factor's physics, like tribalism in the community, how people kind of orient themselves, my desire to make this channel more, there's a time and place for everything, not just elitist sim racing stuff. I don't just want it to be for the super hardcore guys. I do still want it to have room for that, but I do want to also have fun with titles like this and Gran Turismo and stuff in time, as well as BeamNG, of course. And as BeamNG becomes more and more progressively a hardcore simulator as well. Nothing but love to those devs. The great thing about the Subaru is it lets me kind of do this brain off because it's such an easy car to drive. Come on, baby. Man, this is actually a really hard stage. There's so many pinpoint turns and, it's snow. Not cool. How sick is this music, though? Says the metal producer. Listen to Electro, everyone. Don't do metal. I wasted my life. I feel like the backfires that anti-lag soundtrack is just... It's like a clock ticking now, I'm so used to it. Yeah, race car lock. It's actually a small amount for my streams anyway. Usually we get in the 200 to 250 range, but that's when I do actual sim racing events that the audience is interested in. So it's one of the reasons I wanted to do this, and one of the reasons I'm enjoying this is a far lower stress stream at a time of day that actually makes sense to me rather than waking up at 4 in the morning. No, I've not tried the Destruction Derby scenario mod for BeamNG, but if they manage to code in other cars and they're all trying to come after you, yeah, I can see why that would be absolutely amazing in that title. I mean, it's like the ultimate engine for it. Our Mindset, you can listen to all of my prior work. Well, not all of it, that'd be so many things now. I've done this for my whole adult life, but you can listen to very many of them on systematicproductions.com. One word, systematicproductions.com. I have a MP3 player in there. I've actually got a YouTube playlist mastered by Systematic Productions, also mixed by Systematic Productions, so you can actually pull up those. Feel free to put the link in. Thanks, James. Got the Commandant in here, moderating things. That sounds awesome, Race Carlock. That's like, I don't even know how to integrate those mods into BeamNG. Is there somewhere I can read more about this? I'm gonna review this chat when I watch back this stream later, so if you guys want to pop the links down below for me, I would love that. I want to learn more about how to expand BeamNG, get more value out of it, and hopefully bring more value to the audience. But yeah, feel free to put a link to the Mastered at Systematic Productions streams here as well if people want to see what we've done in the past. If you're a metalhead, you've probably heard of Architects, Periphery, Animals as Leaders, Devin Townsend, acts like that. Those were some of the cooler things that we've done. North Lane recently, very, very cool. I'm still waiting on... No! No! Bad first turn. Different surface material. I'm still waiting on Rivers of Nile to get back to me. I think that we're meant to do something like late last year, so... I don't know if I'm meant to reveal that or not, but yeah, Rivers of Nile, they're awesome. Doesn't sound like this, I can tell you that. Ah, why? Why would you allow the trees to block my view of the apexes, guys? That's so not cool. That is so not cool. At least give me a co-driver if you're going to do that. State of the industry talk. Alright, so it's like the time model of R-Factor, the chassis flex and destruction of BeamNG, and just like the refinement and the togetherness of Assetto Corsa, you know, with the modding community of AC. There's your perfect sim, right? And you need, I'm starting to understand how much you need that community to patch in things that devs just don't have the time or the willingness to do. Because the stuff that Ilya and the crew have done in AC blows my mind. I'm going to do more streams, videos, something of the wet physics in AC, because I still can't believe it. Every time I drive it on the Nordschleife, it's just crazy. I want to do like an actual... Why don't I do a 24-hour Nordschleife race in the rain with 60 times time compression in AC? So that'd be like a half an hour race. God, that'd be amazing, right? Because that game looks unreal. I'll try and do it at 4K as well. Oh man, that's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick. I'm not doing that as a stream. I'll do it as a video. The netcode of race rooms, I've never driven that, I don't actually know personally, but I'll take your word for it. View replay. Nice camera angles, guys, look at that. Yeah, Beam's new time model is very good, they're improving it a lot. Gran Turismo 4 career mode, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, that's so compelling, isn't it? If you've played RPGs your whole life like I have, you need that thing. It's like, just like they give you that awesome jazz fusion and they're like, hey, you've unlocked a new car, and you're like, yeah, I did that, that's awesome, and then you're compelled to keep playing even if the physics aren't that great. You're like, yeah, what can I unlock next time? Can I hot up this amazing JDM car and just turn it into something that isn't understeering off every corner? Can I change its weight balance? I bought a 22B, by the way, in Gran Turismo 4. I had to wait. It's like there's a whole thing to it for it to come up on the secondhand market, but I bought it, 22B, fully did it up. It's like the ultimate JDM car. It's so cool. Yeah, the sausage curbs in ACC are... I mean, do you guys think it's realistic? You know, when you see the GT3s go over the anti-cut and do that kind of that thing, do you think that's what GT3 cars would do in real life? I'm genuinely curious. In R Factor 2, the anti-cut is often quite forgiving, I think, because there's no underbody damage and stuff, and the tires deform over it, you know, and you just kind of flop over the anti-cut, and it makes it very compelling to drive. But I mean, do you think that's more or less realistic than the AC way? I'm legitimately curious, because I certainly have my opinions on it. Am I on gravel? I'm on gravel. Cool. I'm like snowy gravel. Oh no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Oh yeah, that's pure skill. Drop it into neutral, guys. That's the ticket. That perpetual sunrise. Oh god, do a good jump, not a bad jump. No! It's fine. Oh man, this car is so good. It's so OP. So much better than all the other cars in the game. Come on, anti-lag, do your thing. But yeah, guys, really trying to hit that 30,000 subscriber milestone before Feb 9th, ideally, because that would mean 30k in 1 year of the channel operating, which would make me very, very happy. If you're not subbed to the channel, I'd hugely appreciate it if you would. Stream will be coming to an end in about 15 minutes, I think. I've been going for about 2 hours, which I'd say is enough. Ermin needs some breakfast. I could buy some chicken nuggets with what Armadis gave me, so thank you so much, Armadis, if you're still watching. Anyone else that wants to pop in a donation, support the stream, future streams, you're more than welcome to. You can use Super Chat here on YouTube, or just use the link down below to Streamlabs. Completely up to you guys. All is appreciated. But above all, I appreciate you guys watching. This is primarily a hobby venture for me. I don't really do it for money. So just having people involved in the streams is what matters the most. Mindset, I used to be a producer. I was a recording engineer, mix engineer, and occasionally a mastering engineer, but these days I only do mastering, and I've closed it off to day-to-day clients, so we only tend to work with, how do I say, like select clientele, I guess, guys that we've worked with for a long time, because I just don't have the time in my schedule to really keep taking on the day-to-day work, so mostly mastering. Also do software development for a company called Submission Audio. That's been the predominant use of my time over the last year or so. Back to the snow. Full snow. It's kind of good. It slows me down a bit. I could use being slowed down. But check out those glowing brake discs. So good. So yeah, Heart of Rally, guys. That's what this is. I've had a few people ask, is it worth it? I think so. I guess it depends what it's selling for. It depends what you expect to get out of the game. But this is, to me, like an homage to just everything that Rally is. And I love that it starts in like the 60s and conks out in the 90s. They're just like, yeah, nah, we're good. We're good. We don't care about what happened after that, which is exactly what I said to myself. It's funny being a Rally fan, but like not caring after the year 2000. It delineated at some point. It just became something else. Now you watch all these like little hatchbacks, and I guess maybe the new generation of Rally fans are into that. I don't know. This could just be me being an old man, but I'm not as compelled by it as I was by the 80s and 90s Rally. 80s, of course, spoke for itself. It's the pinnacle of Rally, Group B. And then the 90s, even though they slowed it down for Group A, like they halved the horsepower, it was still really compelling to watch for people. You still had the massive turnouts. Rally was very much a culture unto itself. They would play it on the sports news segments every Sunday, and that's where I got into it. I'd see McRae flying sideways in one of these, wherever in the world he happened to be that week. It's tragic that we lost, you know, such pivotal figures of Rally, Richard Burns and Colin McRae. Oh, my stream just like conked out on my end. check my stream health again. How is it that like the low intensity streams have the least issues? What's that all about? By the way, I'm kind of curious, guys, while a couple of you are still around, and thank you for hanging around for a stream that's gone for like 2 hours almost. And that view counter in the top left always conks out halfway through. That's what I hate about this stuff. There's all these little things that just stop working correctly. So we went past 27 viewers ages ago. There's like no point for me to even have that thing in the stream anymore because it's never accurate. But at least the chat hasn't conked out this time, so how do you even know? Yeah, I was going to ask you guys a question. Do you feel like the size of my camera feed in the bottom right, is it too big, too small, just right? I feel like I got it to a point where it's just right, but I'm always curious to know based on the resolutions and things that you guys are viewing on. Whew, I'm going to get some more water, I think. I'm starting to hit that brain slump that you get, you know, when you've been operating for about 4 hours and haven't had breakfast yet. Perfect. Glad to hear it, guys. So the widescreen thing may not seem logical while I'm here with a controller and you're just watching all of this empty space, but it's when I'm here with the sim rig and it fills in the entire picture, it kind of makes sense. I get the Fanatec logo in there. Gotta rep my boys. And Next Level Racing, and Rode microphones, and who else? I'm technically also sponsored by Yamaha and Steinberg, but that's not really relevant to you guys so much. But yeah, the ASMR microphone, the Rode Procaster is what I'm currently using. Perfect. Glad to hear that, guys. I can keep this size ratio for all my streams. Didn't hit the pause button then and then freak myself out thinking that I'd stalled the stream. It's key. So we're almost done. I think this is the final stage. Our last hurrah. So thank you guys for joining me for this very, very chill and chat stream. Hopefully I can do more of these. Maybe one day we can get them above 100 like the regular streams. Maybe one day at 200 if more people want to chill out and do this stuff. It's always hard to know. It's always hard to know what's happening on YouTube, what people are into, what YouTube decides to, you know, show people and at what times. Is the 24 Hours of Daytona still going? That could be a factor in my life right now. But yeah, so talking about R-Factor wanting to be the de facto, you know, world endurance simulator, great goal for R-Factor. I think it can be very easily, but they've really got to start mirroring events. Like a week before the 24 Hours of Spa, you run multi-class at Spa in R-Factor, you know. A week before the 12 Hours of Sebring, you run 12 Hours of Sebring. They have amazing laser scan versions of all these tracks, all the endurance tracks other than Daytona. So Daytona has to be on the priority list. If any of you devs are watching, Renee, if your internet's like started to work, bro, just you gotta tell the devs. Daytona. USA, 1996. So my life was filled with arcade machines running Daytona USA in 96, and then the Sega Saturn version of the same game. Yeah, they got to run that. Le Mans a week before. 24 Hours of Nürburgring. Not to say. I mean, of course, I want to be a part of that in some capacity. Whether as an announcer or a driver, I don't care. I mean, anything with Nürburgring and 24 Hours, that's me. Not to mention I want to do it in real life. Got to get my fitness regimen back on track for that. Got to get the cardio going. Hey, big jump, let's go. Yes, yes, the McRae. Sick. No. Alright, so as long as I don't reset, we're good. racing on lakes. I love it. It's such a Scandinavian thing to do. A lot of runoff. This is the kind of like anti-cut experience you dream of in the FIA. Just nothing. Just it's the ultimate test track. It's just a lake, frozen lake. Make all the mistakes you want. Like what Paul Ricard really wants to be. Yeah, I think Daytona is the next port of call for rFactor 2. I'm just making this decision for the devs, by the way. Nobody has said anything about this, but it makes sense, right? They want to be the endurance simulator of choice, and they have all these amazing tracks that they've done now. It's got to be Daytona for the track team. For the physics team, it's got to be sorting out that tire issue where you just drift all the time and then no rear aero and stuff. And then once they sort that stuff out, I mean, they're there. They've got their competition system up and running. They've got the new UI up and running. That was definitely just a ramp in the middle of the stage, yes. Congratulations, runner. Scandinavia is an amazing place. I love going back to Finland every time. I've not been to Norway. I have a lot of great friends in Norway. I think, in fact, some of the best people I know, just the quality of human, are in Norway for some reason. I don't know if it's the high taxes or feeling like you're constantly looked after by the government or the high social security factor. People just feel really nice. Yeah, actually having winter would be amazing. We don't really have winter here in Melbourne. It's just not a thing. We get rain, but it's not really anything. Let's see what we can do. I was hoping to like leave this on a really nice screen for you guys. Just gonna hang around for 2 more minutes as I wind down. Think about what I'm gonna have for breakfast, whether it's gonna be burgers or whatever else. If you've just joined us, the stream is wrapping up and coming to an end as we start to approach the 2-hour mark. Thank you guys again for joining me for this very, very chill stream. These wonderful photos I took of the, I was going to call it the 22B, the late 90s Subaru World Rally car. My favorite. I get to look at it all the time. Yeah. And those cherry blossoms too. Yeah, what are you guys up to after this? I'm figuring many of you are going to be from North America, so bed, late dinner, bed, go to work tomorrow. Yeah, multi-class sim races, that's rFactor's thing. I mean, I think it already is their thing. Multi-class racing in that game is unreal. It's crazy. No, Crash, by drift all the time, I don't mean initial D, I mean slip angle. So you can use way too high slip angle in the GT cars in rFactor and you gain time. You just get really sick lap times. And I wondered for the longest time, I'm like, how am I 4 seconds off at Sebring? Like, I'm using the same brake markers. You know, I've watched hundreds of hours of onboards of Sebring from GT cars. I know how they drive it. I'm driving it that way in the sim, and I'm like 4 seconds off. And turns out I had to just like put in a really small steering angle, or like a steering rotation or a steering lock on the wheel, like 240 or, you know, whatever, 450, something like that. Not 240, more like 450. And then you just throw the car in at high speed and then just get on the power and push it through the corner. And it's just like, if you did that in real life, you would burn up the tires in the first corner. There's no way you would ever drive an endurance race like that. So once I discovered that, that was a bit of a penny drop moment for me in rFactor, unfortunately. As much as I do still love it in a great many ways, that's a huge Achilles heel that needs to be patched ASAP. 3 AM, you guys are hardcore, I like it. Yeah, Racecar, just drop into the Discord. Just say hey in the Discord, and I'll see you there. I've got a few chat chains I've got to catch up on after this. A lot of people from work that really want to get in touch and talk about things. So I've got to get some food in and talk about that. So I really appreciate you guys joining me for this. Thank you. Hopefully I'll see you for the next chill and chat stream, whatever it may be in, whether it be Gran Turismo, this, or something else. Yeah. Well, it's kind of a nice way to start a day, so thank you guys for joining me for it. We'll see you next time.
bonus round for those who hung around until the end. The next video is going to be a feature of my new streaming SimRig general workhorse PC, and we're going to ask the question, is it finally possible to really sim at 4K at decent frame rates? And we're going to do some really, really cool footage and some demanding sims. So thanks for hanging around, guys. You guys are the best.